Hey guys, this is a Patreon Q&A. If you would like to be in next week's video, simply check out the link in the description and you can sign up there. To everyone else listening, there's going to be spoilers for all the series I'm going to be talking about. So Natedawg is basically asking that in the off chance that Blast returns to the battlefield, and if for some reason he were to be killed by Garou, who is under the influence of God, but also then would that lead to Saitama being the one to push Garou to becoming awakened? Now for the former stuff, I'm thinking that's extremely unlikely. I don't think Blast is going to come back, although I did say that before when he originally left with Saitama, Flashy Flash, and Monako, but you know, he came back momentarily to intervene with God trying to manipulate Tatsumaki, as well as showing the other heroes and the audience that he is fighting a much bigger threat out there wherever he was going with his Green Lantern Corps, or implied to be. So him to come back after that and then fight Garou just seems even more unlikely, and then him dying against Garou is like the ultimate unlikelihood, at least in my opinion. But I do like what you're saying here about Saitama possibly being the one that leads to Garou awakening, because, you know, we know in the webcomic Garou was already awakened by the time that he fought Saitama, but like you're saying, now that there's really no one left, which ostensibly there really isn't. I mean, like I talked about in my latest review, there's Psychos still out there, Evil Natural Water is still a thing technically, but now that I'm thinking about it, it very likely could be Saitama. So maybe Saitama steps in, tries to talk to Garou or something, and of course Garou is being Garou and Saitama is being Saitama, and then Saitama gives him like the initial punch that he gives him in the webcomic, but that punch possibly is the thing that allows him to become awakened, because it goes back to that age-old exposition that we got in the webcomic when Garou was fighting Darkshine about only when fighting a stronger opponent who corners him he could find his true strength and grow. Now if this does happen, I don't think Garou is going to be removing his limiter at this point, because God would never allow that to happen. Because when Dr. Genus is explaining how monsters work to Zombie Man, he says these are reborn as new creatures, but they retain their limiters. So if in theory when Garou becomes awakened and he is becoming a full-blown monster at that point, he's not removing his limiter. He's just in theory becoming what like Orochi was, but even stronger than that. And that's why I'm pretty sure we see what we see in the sequence of Garou going against Darkshine, because after the narration says Garou's limiter seems to be breaking, it's after that point when suddenly the monsterization takes him over. But in the end, it really could be anything. I mean, we all didn't know Sage Centipede and Evil Natural Ocean was going to be a thing, so you know, maybe that keeps happening. I don't think so, but I'm just saying if it is Saitama, that would be pretty cool. Myriad asks, who do you think would win in a fight between the entire Monster Association and Evil Natural Ocean? Personally, I think Orochi has a chance using his Gaia Cannon, so yeah, I don't see why Orochi, with the assistance of the entire Monster Association, you have like Homeless Emperor there, Black S, Goketsu, Elder Centipede, all of these powerhouses I'm pretty sure would be able to take down just Evil Natural Ocean by himself. And technically Psychos would be a part of that equation, and considering that she created Evil Natural Water, she knows its weaknesses and how it works. Samurai asks, what are your thoughts on God impersonating Blast when the Ninja Village was taken out? So I thought about this, but I'm really not even sure. I mean, it does make sense for sure, at least going off of the account that Sonic gave Flashy Flash and the audience. We don't know if that's 100% truthful, but if Blast were to slaughter younglings, it would make sense that it was through the impersonation of God. But then also that raises a lot of questions, because why would God do that? It's heavily implied that the ninja leader is a direct disciple of him. Talked about this many times, but it's like why the ninja village looks like a cube. So I'm not really sure why God would kill the younglings when they are just potential disciples for him. And even if he did become Blast to like influence them, why would he become Blast since they're the ninjas and they don't really care about the heroes? But the only thing that leads me to that conclusion is like he chose to appear as Blast in front of them, and then they like denied his influence and then he killed them. Not really sure, but it is possible that it was God that killed them, but it's also possible that it was Blast that took them out, because you know, I'm pretty sure the ninja leader is a disciple of God, and that's why Blast fought him in the first place. So it's possible that Blast was returning to the ninja village because it had God related stuff, and he was like, hey, if you little dudes are gonna stand in my way, you know, I'm gonna have to I-beam you down. First Wolf asks, considering some of the correlations between One Punch Man and Mob Psycho 100, do you think Blast could be similar to Tochiro, an all-powerful Esper who has somehow re-engineered the cube? So yeah, I've been talking about this for months now. I don't think that Tochiro and Blast so much have correlations other than just the super powerful Esper stuff going on, but I do think that Blast's main abilities that we see with like the singularity black hole stuff is for sure coming from God's power. Talk about this more in my Blast Truth Revealed Egyptian Mythology video. Sean H asks, Vigilantes is very close to being over, I assume, and it's crazy right now. Will you read it once it's over? No promises, but maybe. I'm just gonna be honest, I'm not really that interested in Vigilantes. I read like 2 or 3 arcs and they weren't the most compelling, although some cool stuff did happen for sure, but also I'm really not even that too into the main My Hero story right now. PFM18 asks, so a lot of people have argued, no surprise there, that Garou has fighting spirit because in the Metal Bat chapter, their fighting spirits were feeding off of each other and growing. So yeah, I do think they both have fighting spirit, and I don't think they're the only ones. Pretty sure that fighting spirit is like an inherent human ability. I don't know if everyone literally has it, but it's been made so more apparent that Metal Bat has it because he tells the audience all the time. Garou has it, also told the audience, and Saitama has it too. In the second chapter, when we see Saitama fighting Crablante, the more damage he takes, he seemingly becomes more capable of taking him out. Going back to chapter 86, when Dr. Genius is explaining the differences between monsters and humans to Zombie Man, he says, by contrast, heroes work hard to develop innate talents, thereby acquiring the incredible powers that allow them to stand against monsters, and we see Metal Bat in this panel. That's why I was talking about in my review for that chapter that their power is resonating because it comes from their human powers, not the god side, the monster side of things. Fighting spirit is an innate human ability. Little Ferrari asks, after seeing Garou obliterate Sage Centipede with that chop, how does Garou not accidentally murder the S-Class heroes? I think it will be different in the manga in his awakened state, especially if it comes directly from God. So I don't think even at that point Garou is going to kill any of the S-Class heroes. And he always could, but I highly doubt that he will. But as for him not accidentally killing the S-Class heroes, well, you know, what does the Dragon Ball fandom say? Key control? So yeah, just chalk it up to that. You know, the same reason why these universe-busting characters, especially the villains, don't accidentally destroy the planet that they're on. Hey, if you made it this far, maybe you'd be interested in following me on Instagram. I'm going to switch over to using that platform more so than just YouTube at this point. I'll be posting like stories and other, you know, stupid pictures or whatever. So yeah, if you're interested in that, check it out. But yeah, that's pretty much it for the video today, guys. I want to thank all of my patrons, guys. Thank you so much for continuing to support me. And if you would like to be in next week's video, like I said, check out the link in the description. And if you liked the video, please give it a like. And if you haven't already, please subscribe as well. Have a great day. I'll see you in the next one.